This is your weekly report on corruption in the Philippine government. The Sandigan has sentenced 2 former officials of the Philippine Aerospace Development Corporation, PADC, in connection with the loss of an aircraft part which was later sold by a private firm back to the government in 2008. In a 70-page decision dated the 26th of August and written by Associate Justice Georgina Hidalgo, the Anti-Graft Court found former PADC President and Managing Director Danilo Crisologo and Senior Vice President for Marketing Roberto Manlavi guilty of malversation and graft, sentencing them to up to 12 years imprisonment. The court also ordered Crisologo and Manlavi to pay 111,754 pesos, representing the value of the aircraft part. The third accused, PADC consultant storekeeper Luis Cabahug, remains at large. A private individual, Generoso Gualaton, president of Wingtip Parts Corporation, WPC, died while the case was pending before the court. Cabahug was in charge of the PADC storeroom where the part called aircraft fuel pressure indicator was stored and which was taken out and later sold by WPC to the Philippine Navy. The Sandigan has affirmed its decision that convicted the former cashier of the Alcala Water District, AWD, in Pangasinan, imposed a stiffer fine, and ordered the payment of civil liability for malversation of public funds. Affirmed was the conviction of Darwin C. Valoria, whose motion for reconsideration was denied by the Anti-Graft Court 6th Division in a resolution written by Division Chairperson Sarah Jean T. Fernandez with the concurrence of Associate Justices Colby Miranda and Kevin Nas B. Vivero. The Regional Trial Court, RTC, found Valoria guilty of malversation when he converted to his personal use 163,436 pesos in AWD funds from 2000 to 2006. He was sentenced to a jail term ranging from 4 to 7 years and was ordered to pay a fine of 55,886 pesos. Valoria appealed the RTC's decision with the Sandigan. He claimed the RTC gravely erred in finding him guilty despite lack of proper formal demand and prima facie evidence of missing funds. The Sandigan turned down his appeal. The court finds no reversible error in the RTC's decision dated the 10th of August, 2018. However, the fine imposed by the RTC must be modified, and accused appellant's civil liability must be determined. The court ruled, as cashier, the Anti-Graft Court said Valoria had custody and control of the said funds from 2000 to 2006. He put the subject funds to his personal use because he failed to provide a justifiable explanation for the missing funds, the court said. The total malversed amount was 221,935 pesos, but 66,696 pesos was already restituted by other ORD employees. Valoria wrote a promissory note saying he will pay back the remaining 155,239 pesos, so the court said that is the amount he should pay the ORD as his civil liability. The Philippine National Police, PNP, will subject all its investigators into retraining in a bid to improve its crime solution efficiency. PNP Chief General Rodolfo Azurin Jr. said a total of 4,326 police investigators have already graduated from recapitulation program for case handling last year. Currently, he said the retraining of some 16,000 investigators and evidence custodians is underway. We recognize the challenges in the investigation of criminal cases, but we will continue seeking ways to enhance the competency of police personnel in probing crimes and safeguarding evidence, said Azurin. This retraining program is a reinforcement to better capacitate our personnel and to boost their morale despite the extensive requirements in filing cases in the judiciary, he added. Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Ramilla and Interior Secretary Benga Abalos have been meeting to improve both the investigative and operational capabilities of the PNP in a press briefing in July. Ramilla disclosed that the conviction rate of criminal cases in the country is below 25% and that already includes successful plea bargaining agreements. This means we are not really getting a passing rate. This is not a standard that we can live with. We have to change this drastically. So we are really looking at how we can improve the justice system so that we can minimize criminality, said Ramilla. A Quezon City Police District, QCPD, officer involved in an alarm and scandal incident in Marikina City surrendered on Saturday night. Corporal Felipe Poig of the District Tactical Motorized Unit voluntarily gave up his service firearm at Camp Coringal and is now under restrictive custody, Brigadier General Nicholas Torr III, QCPD Director, told reporters on Sunday. The 32-year-old Poig was tagged in an indiscriminate firing incident in Barangay Tumana, where he resides, on Thursday night. Investigation showed that after a drinking binge at about 10:30 p.m., Poig and his friends, Jail Officer 1 Dolphino Gatton of the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology and Security Guard Destiny Poig, took turns firing Gatton's gun along Kangkong Street. Nobody was reported hurt in the firing that was caught by security cameras. The Marikina police station likewise filed a case for violation of Article 155, Alarm and Scandals of the Revised Penal Code, while the QCPD has initiated a pre-charge evaluation to determine Poig's administrative liability. A 55-year-old barangay councillor was shot dead while manning his store on Saturday, the 3rd of September, in Barangay Ajus in this town. Police identified the victim as Ramil Advincula, councillor of Barangay Ajus. Investigation said Advincula was inside his store at 6:50 p.m. when an unidentified man appeared and pretended to buy bottled water and soft drinks. The suspect drew a gun and shot the victim thrice, killing him on the spot. The gunman fled on board a motorcycle towards Mulanay, this province. Advincula's daughter reported the incident to the police. Local police have conducted a dragnet operation and follow-up investigation to determine the killer's motive and identity. Anti-narcotics operatives arrested an ex-army soldier and his cohort who allegedly yielded more than 3 million pesos worth of shabu during a buy-bust operation in Calabanga, Camarines Sur on Sunday night. Colonel Roderico Roy, chief of the Camarines Sur Police, said in a report that Alvin Bonifacio, 33, and Jomal Abika, 23, sold a sachet of shabu to an undercover agent in Barangay Santa Cruz Rate at 11:50 p.m. Bonifacio was a former member of the Philippine Army and was identified as a high-value target for illegal drugs. During the body search, authorities recovered 3 knot-tied plastic bags of shabu weighing 500 grams worth, an estimated 3.4 million pesos, and another 2 sachets of shabu. The Sandigan has convicted 2 former officials of the now abolished National Agribusiness Corporation, NABCA, and a private individual for 2 counts of malversation and 2 counts of graft involving Congressional Pork Barrel in 2008. They were sentenced to 24 to 40 years of imprisonment. The congressman earlier implicated in the cases, and whose role was cited in the decision, died in 2018. In an 86-page decision dated the 2nd of September, the Sandigan Bayan's 3rd Division said former NABCA Human Resources Manager and Conator Cristina Munsad, former NABCA General Services Head Romulo Relivo and Private Respondent Margie Tajan Luz, then President of the Gabay Masa Development Foundation Inc., were guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Aside from the prison sentence, the anti-graft court ordered Munsad, Relivo and Luz to reimburse a total of 4.85 million pesos, at 6% annual interest. They were found guilty of conspiring in the embezzlement of funds from the Discretionary Priority Development Assistance Fund, PDAF, of the late Rep. Teodulo Caquila of the Lone District of Eastern Samar. Munsad, Relivo and Luz were also banned for life from holding any public office and all their retirement benefits were forfeited. The anti-graft court said the prosecution was able to prove that Munsad, Relivo and Luz had conspired with Caquila in committing graft and malversation of public funds. Members of the Philippine National Police, PNP, have arrested a retired police officer implicated in a ghost pension scam in Rizal Province. In a statement Wednesday, PNP Deputy Chief for Administration, Lieutenant General Jose Chiquito Malayo, identified the suspect as retired Senior Police Officer 4 Romeo Arilla, 65, who was arrested by members of the PNP Retirement and Benefits Administration Service, PRBS, in coordination with the personnel of Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, CIDG, in his residence in Barangay San Jose in Antipolo City on Monday afternoon. Malayo said the suspect has a standing warrant of arrest dated November 12, 2018, issued by the Quezon City Regional Trial Court Branch 95 for malversation of public funds and violation of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. Retired SPO4 Arilla was criminally and administratively charged for defrauding the government of millions of pesos through the ghost pension scam in the PNP, Malayo said. Malayo said a fact-finding investigation also recommended the filing of another 11 counts of violation of Section 3E of RA 3019, Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, against the retired police officer before a Quezon City court. The scam involves fake names being entered into the PNP's pension database and is allegedly perpetrated by unscrupulous individuals and groups. The late former Interior Secretary Jesse Robredo earlier said the police force has lost over PHP 1 billion to ghost pensioners in a span of 5 years from 2006 to 2011. In 2020, the PNP under then Chief Archie Gamboa ordered a crackdown on over 1,000 unqualified pensioners who are fraudulently stealing from its pension fund. The Department of Justice, DOJ, on Wednesday said murder complaints have been filed against 30 police officers and personnel allegedly linked to the March 2021 Bloody Sunday incident. The incident refers to the police operation to serve search warrants in Batangas that led to the deaths of several activists. For those involved in Bloody Sunday, as per the EO35 team, there were murder cases filed with the Office of the Prosecutor against 30 PNP officers and personnel, said Justice Undersecretary Brigido Dule told the House Appropriations Committee during a budget hearing. Dule was responding to ACT Teachers Party List representative France Castro's inquiry regarding updates on the investigation into the Bloody Sunday incident. Law enforcers in this city have arrested 2 army personnel for alleged firearms law violations. Members of the task force Davo and the Toral police station manning the Surun checkpoint in the city's boundary with Santa Cruz, Davo del Sur, arrested on Wednesday Private First Class Mohammed Kittig, 26. He was assigned to the Civil Military Operations Unit of the 6th Infantry Division based in Datuodan Sinsod Town, Maguindanao. Found in Kittig, who was driving a vehicle on his way to the city, were 6 high-powered rifles, a .45 caliber pistol, assorted ammunition, and personal belongings. A police report said the soldier brought the firearms without carrying legal documents. Kittig was brought to the police station as a criminal complaint for violating the Comprehensive Firearm and Ammunition Regulation Act was still being prepared against him. On Tuesday, Captain Ahmad Matuag, 36, of the 10th Infantry Division based in Morab Town, Davo de Oro, was arrested for selling an M16 assault rifle to a government agent posing as a gun buyer. The agent turned out to be a part of a team from the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group and Army Intelligence Unit going after loose firearms. The Department of Education has filed administrative charges against 5 of the 7 high school teachers accused of sexual harassment in Bacoor, Cavite, its spokesperson said Thursday. DepEd spokesperson Michael Poa said that teachers were charged with grave misconduct, conduct prejudicial to the best interest of the service, and violation of the agency's child protection policy. The department is unable to issue charges against the 2 remaining teachers due to lack of evidence, Poa said. He reiterated his appeal for students to come forward if they experienced sexual harassment or abuse in their schools. We are encouraging victims of alleged sexual harassment to come out so they can give their affidavit, statement or evidence so we can file formal charges, not just against the 7 teachers but also against others who supposedly commit sexual harassments, he said in a press briefing. Due to the charges, the teachers were placed under a 90-day preventive suspension, said Poa. The accused teachers will be asked to choose between a proceeding by position paper only or by trial, he explained. About 400 police personnel in central Luzon have been dismissed from service since 2016 in line with the Philippine National Police's intensified internal cleansing program. Police Regional Office 3 Acting Regional Director Brigadier General Cesar Pasiwan said that the latest data show a total of 937 cops were involved in cases ranging from grave neglect of duty, mostly absence without leave, grave misconduct, serious irregularities, while some members of the police force were meted with disciplinary sanctions for administrative offenses and involvement in irregularities. Of the 937 cops involved in various cases, 400 were dismissed from service while the others involved in less serious offenses were meted with penalties. Around 56 were demoted, 376 were suspended, 2 faced forfeiture of salary, 23 were reprimanded, 208 were restricted while privileges were withheld for 286 personnel. That's all for this week. I'll see you next week with more stories of corruption and foolishness within the Philippine government.